again, when it comes, now you've learned how to mark things and fit them together and things like that, it's very important to use your skill saw as probably your most basic tool. Nobody frames with a handsaw anymore unless they're an awful stubborn person or they just don't have the money. But your skill saw is your basic saw that you're going to use. I prefer the Makita like this one. The Milwaukee makes a good one, several others. Then the thing that you'll notice about a good saw that you're using all the time is that the table on the saw has nice flat edges. A lot of the less expensive saws, this side here is made out of stamped steel and it's just kind of curved up on the side. And what happens is you don't have a good sharp edge to use as a guide, and you don't get as nice a cut. So here you see the line that was drawn, and you put line your saw up with the edge of the table right on that line. And I'll show you here in a minute, there's a difference. I remember when I first started framing, and the guy says, you know, make sure you cut on the right side of the line. I thought he was joking. Alright, so again, see how nice and square the edges are on the table of the saw. If you're ever buying a saw, spend the money, get one, get a good quality Milwaukee, a Delta, a Makita, something like that that's got a nice table on it that you can actually do good work with.
Fisher Price is a good one?
No, Fisher Price is not a good one. I wouldn't bring a Craftsman skill saw on my job site, I'll just say that. Now you have some other good tools, but not a skill saw. So anyway, you want to put that guide on the table. It's right along that line, and you don't have to get down there and stick your face by the blade and get wood chips in the face and everything. You can just stand up and watch that, follow the line, you're good to go. You notice this one here is moved over about almost 1/8 of an inch. If I want to make the cut and leave this part here, I want to make the cut on this side of the line, then my guide on the table, I have to give it 1/8 of an inch. You understand what I mean? Just to accommodate the blade width there. Because when you make that cut, which I'll show you here in just a second, it's going to take out that much material from here to here, so you have to compensate for that. So that'll show you the difference of cutting on one side of the line or the other. You can see I started this cut on one side of the line and then came back here and cut on this side of the line, and you can see how that, you know, you can literally some guys, when you're doing certain things, not so much in framing, but there's certain parts of the trim and stuff on the outside that they'll actually say either take away the line or leave the line. So for right here, I would be cutting away the line as well, but if he wanted me to, I could cut on this side of the line. That fine of a measurement, that fine of a cut, it keeps you from having big gaps and stuff that you have to fill with caulking, and sometimes, especially if you're putting up a redwood siding or cedar, that you're not going to paint it. You don't want to have those gaps because you got nothing to fill them with. So you want to be able to cut that accurately. And that's
leaving
important.
a gap between the saw blade. Why can you just turn the board around? The line goes all the way across. You turn the board around. You're going to lose the other.
Yeah, you could. I was just illustrating here how you could cut on either side of the line, because I remember thinking when the guy told me that, like, yeah, right, like you can really do that, but of course you can. You just have to learn. And you'll notice here that I cut this with a real dull blade because there's actually burn marks here on that socket.
When you cut the line, cut on the line, that when you want to split the difference between the two of them, don't you?
Sometimes you'll split the difference on the line. Sometimes you'll actually leave just so you can see the pencil line and nothing else. And sometimes you'll cut the pencil line away, but not anything past the pencil line.
Okay.
It depends on, generally speaking, if you kind of cut down the middle of the line, you're fine. But if the guy specifies, you know, cut it 45 and 15/16 and leave the line, it's because he needs it to be that much tighter.
Yeah.
Splitting the line, leaving the line is going to be about a 32nd of an inch. It's a pretty fine measurement, but again, it'll leave a gap if you don't.